Good morning to everybody. My name is Professor M.V.R. Raju, Department of Psychology, Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. My topic is Counselling Skills. Counselling process is a productive way such as life is a journey. That is, it takes time and effort. Or counseling is like baking a cake, that is, it requires a blending of the right ingredients. According to Arbuckle 1965, counseling is a human relationship, a warm relationship in which the counselor fully and completely, without any ifs and buts, accepts the clients as a worthy person. So as a counselor, the way you see the client is more important. The way he inviting the client in the counseling process is very, very important. The way he is inviting into chamber and the way he is offering is a comfortable chair is a counseling process. And the way he talk, the dialogue, the way initiating the counseling, that is called it as the relationship in between the counselor and the counselee. When they're coming into, according to M.V.R. Raju, 1994, any dear understanding between persons which results in changing of personality. So, every person or those who are suffering with different psychological problems, they have some personality problems. So as a counselor, try to understanding the counselor's problems. How to understand? Before understanding the counselor's problems, as a counselor, he try to understand, he try to aware himself is more important. When he's aware, when he's understanding his personality, when the counselor start the counseling process, he is able to understand what the counselor says. It helps to change his personality through counseling process. Coming into the relationship between the people leads to healing, the growth, and change to be autonomous and caring in living oneself and others. This is also very, very important. When the counselor establishing the rapport, when the counselor giving good comfort to the counselee, the good comfort, the good understanding, the good relations in the counseling process. Through counseling process, the counselor is coming forward to heal the problem, and also he will increasing the growth, and as well as he will become as independent, he become as a autonomous in his personality. That is called as, very simple meaning, we call it as counseling. Counseling is an interpersonal helping procedure which begins with client exploration for the purpose of identifying the client's problems. The counselor uses special techniques to help the client solve his personal problems. So through counseling process, through probing techniques, the counselor try to identify the problems and the background of the problems, where it comes the problems, and also the root cause of the problems, the identifies, and using different psychological techniques. We have a number of techniques is there. Which technique is more suitable, more appropriable, the particular situation and the particular problem the counselor uses and resolving his problems through counseling process. Counseling skills. Good listener. What do you mean good listener? Good listener means listening is a learned skill. Listening is a hearing with understanding. See, learned skills means learning is a continuous process. Once the counseling process starts till wind up the session, as a counselor, if focusing to the client, focusing to the problem, you try to listen what he says is very, very important. And also, counselor try to understand his personality and as well as external beautiness, internal beautiness, and also the problem. That is called as listener. Apart from that, listening is a complex psychological process involving selection, interpretation, and understanding of the significance of the sensory experiences. See, involving the selection. So when they keep on talking, see, according to Sigmund Freud identified and developed psychodynamic theory. Psychodynamic theory explains it is called as talking therapy. While the client keeps on talking in the counseling process, when the counselor listening what he says, he try to identifying and selecting the problems from the problem of the client, and also analyzing and interpreting the problem of the client and understanding of the problem. And when coming into the counseling means, listening skill means, it involves perception, motivation, thinking, ability, and empathy. When talking about the perception, person to person perception is different. What do you mean the perception? The perception means the way the client perceives about himself. The perceives means the way the client perceives about the problem, the way the client perceives from the society. And coming into the motivation, the way he is motivated. This is also very important. The way the cognition, thinking means about the cognition of the problem. And empathy means feeling into, that is called it as good listener. And another important point, be idea consciousness. What do you mean the consciousness? The consciousness is very important. Sigmund Freud very clearly explained psychoanalysis theory classified into three important components. One is conscious mind, number two, subconscious mind, number three, unconscious mind. So way we are consciously listening, the way we consciously see, the way we consciously interpret, the way we consciously understand it, that is what calls consciousness. Number two, communication skill. What do you mean the communication? So intra-communication is there and interpersonal communication is there, and also verbal communication and non-verbal communication is there. Intra-communication means communicating ourselves. As a counselor, before coming into the counseling process, he tried to understanding himself and also communicating himself what he will speak into the counseling, in the counseling, that is called as intra-communication. Interpersonal communication means communicating with the client. The verbal communication and non-verbal communication is there. We will discuss one by one. One is the eye contact. Eye contact is very important in the communication process. The way you see the client is more important. As a counselor, if focusing is both eyes, through the body language as well as the verbal language, and also focusing to the problem of the client in the counseling process. And number two, focus the client's attention on his feelings. According to the problem, situation to situation, the client feelings will be changed, so that being a counselor, pay attention, try to listen what he says through verbal communication, and as well as he tries to understand the body language, that is called as attention. Number three, lean towards the client. Lean towards the client means focusing to the client and create the trust. But how we establishing the trust with the client? The trust is one is the person and as well as the problem. And coming to encourage talking. This is very, very important. When counselor keep on encouraging, he keeps talking for whatever he experienced from childhood as well as till date experience. He will keep on talking. Through talking, the client try to visualize, he try to understand. Through visualizing, understanding, he will aware where I am, where I was. Healthy atmosphere. Counselors create and develop healthy atmosphere in the counseling process. factors. One is the climate, environment is very important. The positive environment is more important in the counseling process. Coming into verbal message, counselors, verbal message. The verbal message, number one is the volume. The way using is a volume to the client, that is loud or quiet. Number two, the pass. Pass means either slow, either fast. Number three, clarity. What do you mean the clarity? Pronunciation of the words, perfect or sheltered. Coming to fourth one. The fourth one is the pitch. The pitch is very high or pitch is very low while talking with the client. Intense or relaxed with the client. This is, we call it as non-verbal communication and verbal communication in the counseling process. Relationship building skills. What do you mean relationship building skills? The skills that enable the counselor to build a positive relationship with the client. The way we establish the positive relations is very, very important. The positive relations, number one is be patient, be smile, and be openness. This is very important, establishing the relationship building. The coming to the positive relationship is an important precondition for the counseling process to be effective. Coming to the third one, information gathering. The skills are those that enable the counselor to explore and understand all the details about the client's problems. We get all the details. Whatever he had in his mind, we gather the information from the counseling. Information giving skills are those that help the counselor to give, repeat, reinforce, and explain information to the client in a simple and clear language. The counselor to give client time to process the information and to check whether the client has understand the information. The way we are giving information, we try to see whether he is understanding or not. This is also one of the important skill in the information in the counseling process. And another important skill, specialized skill. What do you mean specialized skill? The specialized skills means specialized skills are those that help the counselor to deal with specific client's needs. Example, a suicide or mental problems. So when the person having a suicidal, we have to discuss elaborately with the client the suicidal problems, where it comes, how it comes. Suppose when the child attempted suicide, we thoroughly gather the information from childhood to the till date. The information we call it as either the problem is coming from the studies, whether the problem is coming from the family, whether the problems is coming from the parents, or the problems coming from the marks, or any dropout, or absenteeism, or any language problem, or any communication problem, or any financial problem, or any unemployment problem, or any love affair, or love failure, or any sexual problems, or whether the person having such type of problems, sometimes it may lead to depression. This depression may lead to sometimes suicide. So that we gather the information is more important in a specific specialized skills in the counseling process. Interpersonal skills reflection. The techniques where the counselor mirrors what the client is feeling or saying during that moment. This could be reflection of feeling, content, general theme of comments made by the client. Reflection allows the counselor to be a sounding board or reflective mirror whereby the client can receive feedback in the process of integrating disorganized or incongruent behavior and gain self-understanding in the counseling process. Next skill, rapport. What do you mean rapport? Rapport can be defined as the art of establishing trust, respect, and cooperation in relationship. Art. What do you mean art? The counselor's art is more important. The way he sees the cloud is more important. Here, the way he initiates in the counseling process, the way he is establishing the trust with the client. The trust mainly based on the way he starts the dialogue, the way he is giving comfort in the counseling process, the way he is offering, the way he started either name or pet name in the counseling process. Coming to respect, respect is more important. Person to person have a different problems is there. We should respect the person and also we should respect the problem. See, when the person coming with different problems, maybe the family problem, maybe sexual problem, maybe cigarette smoking or alcohol addiction or sexual related problems, but we should respect the problem. We should not disguise. We should accept the problem in initial stage in the counseling process. And the rapport, the third important meaning, we call it as the cooperation in the relationship. The cooperation is very, very important. Cooperating, the way we listen, the way we understand, the way we respect. This is what we call it as rapport. Coming into rapport means it is being able to step into and out of another's experience with the feeling and understanding. And number 3, rapport is like dancing. Rapport is like dancing. What do you mean the dancing? What do you mean? Dancing. The way the counselor uses is a verbal language and also non-verbal language. That is called as dancing. The body should speak to the client. Sometimes the client may not able to understand the verbal language, but some of the clients understand and aware the counselor's body language, aware of the movements. Must be aware of your movements and space as well as the movements and space of your partner, space in between your partner. If you move too quickly or slowly, the way we are moving or the way we maintain the slow in the counseling process, it could be or it could interfere with the synchronism of the dancing relationship. This is very, very important. If you frequently bump or step on the feet of the other, equally she will not want to be your partner when you are not maintaining the relationship, the way you are not maintaining the rapport. Okay, sometimes what will happening, she will not want to be your partner. By matching the verbal and non-verbal behavior of the dance, rapport is established. This is very, very important. The way you establish, but the whole counseling process, the body language and non-verbal language should synchronize. When you're synchronizing, he likes. He feels more comfortable. He wants to speak more. And he keeps it completely depending on you. He believes you. And also through rapport, the way you establishing rapport, some of the clients, they feel that. As for example, the children, can I call you as uncle? Can I call you as auntie? Or can I call you as sir? This relationship will be established. Rapport is very, very important. And sometimes some of the clients, they feel comfortable. I am seeing as a God. That is called as the rapport. Coming into matching the way and you adjust your dance to the dance of the client and create in her. You also motivate to speak more, just like a dance. The belief and the trust that you have the experience to man out the dance in the best possible way. Without rapport, you will not be able to lead your partner in the desired direction of the change. According to his comfort, according to his feelings, according to his convenience, according to his happiness, we have to probe in the counseling process. The way you are probing, the client speaks more and more. Through speaking, he will obey. And also insight, you'll have insight in the counseling process. Type of greeting: handshake, bow, kiss, nod in the head. But we are all Indians. In Indian culture, are some of the families not accepting the kiss? So that according to their convenience, according to our cultural background, okay, the way we are saying is a good morning, either we say a namaste. This is very important. The way of addressing each other. Sometimes some people we call it the first name, the last name. Refreshments. Refreshments offered, not offered, tea or coffee. When the client is willing to take, offer the coffee or tea. Seating arrangements is more important in the process. Facing each other side by side. Either facing each other directly. When we facing each other, high level, the table is not correct. The small, the table is more important. So when we have a small table in between counselee and the counselor, directly facing each other, they have a very good eye contact and also directly touches each body. The body language is understanding each other. This is very important. Sitting arrangements, the personal distance. Sitting for apart or sitting close together. Small talk, brief, lengthy. What subjects is acceptable? Either family or weather. According to the willingness of the client, you have to rapport is more important. Without their willingness, we cannot go for the, we call it a personal distance. Or the small talk. Gaze. The gaze means little eye. The gaze means lot of eye contact. Either little contact or eye contact. But we should focus completely our eyes towards the client problem as well as the person. The tone of the voice. Tone of the voice means very soft and gentle, loud or firm. Situation to situation, you have to act differently. Then physical touch. The physical touch means hugs and touching expected or not expected. But whereas is here, hugging is not good in the counseling process. This is physical touch is very important, but the way you using the physical touch is more important in the counseling process. But the touch is also mainly based on the Indian cultural and the values and the ethics. The posture means leaning forward or leaning the back. Amount of talk expected, a little, a lot. Use of silence in conversation. Comfortable with a little or a lot. Lead talking in conversation. The client's role or counselor's role. Coming into approach to important subject, either direct or indirect. Taboo subjects, money, the sex, family problems. It's very important. Very carefully we have to discuss and use these issues in the counseling process. Counselor self-disclosure, expected or not expected. This is also more important. Use of the gestures, large scale or small scale. Use of the humor, customary, not customary. Importance of the time. This is very important. The time, loose schedule for an interview. This is very important. So when we fixing the counseling session, but there is no boundaries for the time. Sometimes it extends 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours. But you should not wind up in between the counseling process. As soon as the complete counseling session process is over, then only we have to wind up the counseling session with the willingness of the client. That is called as important of the time in the counseling process. This is also very important in the rapport skills in the counseling process. The next important skill that is called as understanding. According to Taylor, defines understanding as the ability to grasp clearly and completely the meaning the client is trying to convey. According to the Fiedler, stresses the importance of understanding in the counseling process. The counselor should understand the client's feelings and should follow the client's line of the thought. This is very important. See, clients see what he speaks. He is able to understand. According to his line, according to the client's line, we have to move into that. We have to probe into that. That's called as understanding. And also knowledge about another individuals, his behavior and the personality and interests. See, person to person, behavior is different. The personality is different. And their interest is important. According to their interests, their behaviors, their personalities, we have to understand. We have to analyze. That's the role of the counselors in the counseling process. The verbal or intellectual understanding and a behavioral or operational understanding. That today, intellectual levels are very high for the clients. So that we try to understand, we try to analyze their intellectual levels, our capabilities, their abilities, knowledge of the individuals, interest of what is a fears and loves and anxieties, and also self-understanding. See that today we have a number of judgments in the Supreme Court, and today the lot of changes in our value system, and also you see the ethics also changing. But when we compare with when we had joint families, the today nuclear families, a lot of difference is there comparing the joint families and the nuclear families. During joint family system, elder parents explaining ethics and values in the family to the respective children. Today, when the joint family today slowly degrading. Today, nuclear family, both parents are busy when they preoccupy their jobs. And also children also preoccupied the school, the tuitions. There is no free time. There is no free time for the games. There is no free time to talk to the children. There is no free time to knowing the children aspirations, expectations. So, as a counselor, understand his unconscious feelings in the counseling process. That is the real meaning of understanding. Sigmund Freud very clearly explaining ungratified things going into unconscious mind. We try to taking out through talking therapy in the counseling process. That is the real meaning of the understanding. The most important understanding is the self. What do you mean the self? People are not aware about their own self. The self means we come to evaluate ourselves. We come to evaluating ourselves in terms of what others think and not in terms of what we actually feel. Such as self-concept carries what it conditions of the work. That is the meaning of the self. The next important skill is called as empathy. Empathy means feeling into. What do you mean feeling into? This can be defined as the counselor's ability to assume in as far as is possible the internal world of the client, that is, to perceive the world as the client sees it and to perceive the client as he or she perceives himself or herself. This must not be confused with sympathy. Sympathy is different and empathy is different. But client will not expecting sympathy. He is expecting only empathy. The way we are understanding, the way we are sharing his pain or his anxiety, which means that one person identifies with and shares the feelings of another, sharing his feelings to other persons. That is very, very important, is empathy. Even at home also, wife is not expecting sympathy. The wife is expecting empathy from the respect husband. That is the real meaning of empathy in the counseling process. Coming into acceptance. What do you mean acceptance? According to Carl Rogers defines, acceptance is a warm regard for the client as a person of unconditional self-worth and of value. No matter what his condition, his behavior or his feelings are. Acceptance, this means that there are no reservations, conditions, evaluations and judgments of the client's feelings, but rather a total positive regard for the client as a person of the value. Acceptance does not imply approval of specific behaviors, but we are giving unconditional support to the client. We understanding we have to evaluate and giving support and encouragement and giving unconditional support with the client. That is the meaning of the acceptance. Coming to reassurance to the client. Reassurance means this is a counseling technique that communicates a tone of support. We are giving complete support to the client, complete support to the problem, complete support to the person. And also here comfort. We are giving physical comfort and psychological comfort. This physical comfort and psychological comfort, it reduces their stress levels, it reduces their tension levels, and also suppose the person having any depression, the depression is also slowly decreasing and also controls. At the same time, reassurance, encouragement, encouraging to the person, encouraging to the problem, as well as acceptance. And a reinforcement to the client. The reinforcement, he helps a lot to the client coming back into the normal situations. It helps the client relax. He's more happy. He's going with dancing. He's going with smiling. He will go and get good smile. He'll go and get good smile and go and eat nice food. He'll get good sleep. And also, he speaks very well with his friends. He speaks very well with his bosses. He speaks very well with his colleagues and the subordinates. And also, he speaks his own children, or maybe his husband or maybe wife in the family. And also, he is performing very well in the work situation. That is called as reassurance. And coming into counseling can provide the members with reassurance, which is way of giving them courage to face a problem or confidence that they are pursuing a suitable course of action. The confidence is confidence building. Yes, I can do it. I can work. I can performing very well in the work situation. I am more happy. This is we call it as counseling process in reassurance. Reassurance can be a valuable, though sometimes temporary, cure for a member's emotional absence. Sometimes just the act of talking with someone about the problem can bring about a sense of relief that will allow the members to function normally again. But reassurance, it gives happiness rather than the medication. That is called as reassurance in the counseling process. Reassurance plays a significant part in counseling situations. Reassurance is a thought of as an expression of emotional conflict. Whatever he has the conflict, he comes out. Reassurance is a structured, very structured, means different people. He knows where I am today. And he need to be reassumed stems from inner anxiety as the termination of the counseling relation approaches. Whatever he has the anxiety is completely relieved. What? He don't read more well. He speaks very well. At this, the client experiences and may even express new fears. This indicates that the client has not overcome all his fears and doubts. But therefore, Regeneration is supportive to the client to overcome his fears and the doubt. Whatever he has in the future, he himself to overcome his problem. He need not come again to the counselors in the counseling process. Coming into the last counseling skill, that is called as clarification. What do you mean the clarification? This is a technique that calls for the client to clarify his or her positions by providing additional information and also rewarding the comment. Suppose from the beginning, when the counseling is forgetting anything, suppose he is not telling, he is not revealing, suppose he is not add. But when coming to the end, he want to add. We respect and also we will giving reward. Reward means respect him. This is respecting, it gives comfortable, it gives happiness, and also the coming to the end, in every client's, with dancing, they go back their home. They go back to the home. And also some of the clients, they says that, sir, can I call you again? Or would like to come to my home for the dinner? Or some client children, they call it as, can I call you as a sir, or uncle, or auntie? Sir, can I continue our relations as a friend? See, it depends on the clients in the counseling process. Before they leave, they are expressing their feelings and also happily, comfortably, they go back to home and enjoying with their family members and enjoying their routine life without any physical or psychological problems, and the quality of life is increasing. Thank you, one and all.